Welcome to another episode of Isaiah Can't Decide what his YouTube channel should be about. Because today, we're going to be reviewing this book, Life as We Knew It. That chair. How good that looks. That camera right there. Sorry about that. I got like a W setup going on right here. I'll put an image like right there. Like as you can see, I have like a bowling bag. And I have like my phone scotch taped to it. It's really something I like right there. But anyway, to properly review this book and not make it like any other review, we must do something that no one else does on a book review. Judge the book by its cover. So I already showed you it. I probably will put an image on screen if it's too dark there. I got like W lighting going on right here. But there's a moon. And like there's a house in a winter, and there's like some type of shrubs in the background and right there. And on the back, it's just like the starry sky. Skies are pretty cool. But the reason I picked out this book is because the cover looked cool, which I know, don't judge a book by its cover. But honestly, I mean, good cover. And on the back, they got like the inspirational stuff. Absorbing first page to last. Riveting and deeply frightening. You will read it in one sitting, fighting back tears as you bite your nails. I can tell you I didn't read it in one sitting, fighting back tears and biting my nails. It actually took a long time to read this book, like a good 2 weeks. This is not like a first edition. This isn't a first edition Pokemon we got here, because they actually got the sequels on the back, which I do have the sequels in my possession. I have yet to read. I was about to show all of them, but I'm kind of too lazy to do that. Other notes about this book: the feel. Feels pretty good. A nice glossy cover. Good pages. The layout is special. It's like told like in journal entries, except it's not Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Fortunately, there's no pictures. Look at this. It's told like, instead of chapters, they got chapters. They have like dramatic text for when like the month changes. Oh, my bookmark. No, it's finished anyway. Right there, it says winter, and they have like the moon around it because it's all about the moon. Speaking of moon, I didn't even talk about what this book is about. So basically, this book is about this asteroid hits the moon, and the moon is like freaks out. So it moves away and it gets closer to the Earth. The moon has like a gravitational pull to the Earth. Things go wrong. Like the tides controlling that stuff is real. I learned from that book. I knew it sort of before, but that's besides the point. There's like tidal waves, and they like hit the coast. There's also volcanoes. Volcanoes real mean. Since the gravitational pull got like more pulley, it's like they put a vacuum on Earth and just sucked the magma out. But that's just the basic plot synopsis of the book. Moon gets closer to Earth. Earth freaks out. Told from perspective of Midwestern family. Boom. And for our last review of the book cover, doesn't have much of a smell. Doesn't taste all that good either. Definitely had better tasting books. I'm just joking. This is a good review. This isn't criticism. Yet. But Isaiah, what about the inside of the book? Well, let me tell you, the inside of the book is easily the best part of the book, surprisingly. You see, the inside of the book has a story. And not only does it have stuff to do with what I just said, it's told from the perspective of this girl named Miranda. But time for spoilers. So click off the video if you don't want to see spoilers. Because there's going to be a ton of them. Because I'm going to tell you what happens in the book. Now for this section of the book, I'm kind of cheating here. Right here, there's a whole bunch of questions on the back. Like for example, the first one says, before the asteroid hits the moon, what are the biggest concerns in Miranda's life? And that works out for me, because then I don't have to write a script for the video. But before we get to those questions, which I think I'll be able to cover all 20 of them when I talk about the characters in the book. So first we have like this main character named Miranda, 16-year-old and somewhere in the Midwest. I forgot what the setting was. She likes skating, but then she broke her ankle, so now she swims. Then we have like the second character, Johnny, her younger brother. And Johnny is just this 13-year-old who likes baseball a lot. And then we have this character named Matt, which is Miranda's older brother. And then we have the mom, which is basically just the mom. She goes on like a crazy shopping spree at the start of the book after the asteroid hits the moon. And those 4 characters are basically the 4 characters you see on like every single page of the book. The other side characters include Miss Nesbit, which is the grandmother, and you have Peter, who is basically like the family's doctor, and also you have Miranda's dad and his wife, which live in a different part of the U.S., but come in at one chapter and brings the family a whole bunch of food. And throughout the book, there will be letters coming in from them. There's a ton of other characters, such as Miranda's friends, but they're not that significant after like the first couple of chapters. There's this one friend of Miranda's who's like very, very religious and ends up starving herself. So for the first reader chat question, we got, before the asteroid strikes the moon, what are the biggest concerns in Miranda's life? Well, before that, the biggest concerns were grades and skating. And the second question is, how do they change in the months that follow? Well, they all get skinnier because they start like following this meal plan and only eating stuff like canned tuna. Now, I get canned tuna, it's pretty good, but after you have it like every single day, when phone, internet, and television service go out, Miranda says civilization is ended. Are we too dependent on electronic gadgets? Would you feel as Miranda does if you were no longer use the gadgets we have? Yes, I would. And it's even worse now because this takes place in like 2004. So even then, they weren't using gadgets that much. And as far as like communication wise, I guess that would be the biggest depending factor. And the thing is, it's not daily everyday gadgets. Like everything goes out, like all the electricity goes out. So yes, I would be affected. Pretty good question next. It says, what changes does Miranda notice about the people in the days following the asteroid strike? What does Miranda experience at the supermarket to make her realize how things have changed for the worse? The person they met at the supermarket was this hobo, asking for food for their baby and stuff, which, like Giga Chads, they don't give them food because they need the food. How would you describe Miranda's relationship with her brothers, Matt and Johnny? Miranda is actually pretty jealous of Johnny throughout, like, the first couple of chapters in the book. Like, Johnny is sent to a baseball camp right after the moon hits and, like, the economy crashes. So while Johnny is at baseball camp, her mom set up this meal plan where they, like, skip a meal a day. And she gets really angry. She's like,
oh, I bet Johnny is at baseball camp eating 3 meals a day, flapjacks and waffles.
When really, if they couldn't get the food, they probably couldn't get the food either. But still, she holds this sentiment throughout like the whole book. Ooh, this is a good one. I forgot about this. Why does it bother Miranda when Megan gives away half of her sandwich at lunch? Remember how I said she had a really religious friend that starved herself? This is her. She starts giving away half of her sandwich away at lunchtime. She starts to worry because she starts to make the inference like, oh, she's getting real skinny. She probably feels bad for us. I don't know why she's giving away half of her sandwich. What we learn later in the book is actually her like pastor of her church actually kind of brainwashed her into doing it. And then we learn the pastor of the church has been taking food from the people who follow him. And he like stayed same shape while everyone else got skinny. Eventually, Miranda goes over to Megan's house and she realized that her mom basically doesn't really care about her in a sense, at least as much as she should. And she puts like on a fake smile. It's like the people inside of that one village in Avatar. Ba Sing Se, that's what it was. Ba Sing Se, how they had all like the fake smiles and stuff going on. That was basically what her mom was like, in denial. And when eventually she goes up to Megan's room to check on her, she's like in bed. She's too weak to do anything. And then after she leaves eventually, Megan ends up dying, and so does the mom. In a way I won't spoil, even though I'm giving out spoilers. And also, Miranda has another friend named Sammy who ended up leaving with this 40-year-old man. Keep in mind, they're all like 16, so it's kind of weird, but they end up leaving and going to like a different state. And her parents approved of it because they thought it would be the better option. And following months, like it gets harder and harder for them to live, especially in winter. Like most of it takes place in winter. And there's this really like turning point of the book where Miranda goes to check the pantry one day and she sees these chocolate chips. Keep in mind that they're they're all like on a starvation diet, if I can call it that, where they're only eating like 2 to 1 meal a day. And she sees this bag of chocolate chips, and she ends up just devouring the bag of chocolate chips. Just her mom actually catches her in the act. Around this time, Nesbit ends up dying. She knows she was about to die, so she told Miranda like everything to go through El Bozo. And they go to her house, and they go through her drawers and gets a whole bunch of stuff. And then soon after, Christmas happens. When they went rummaging through it, they didn't completely clear it out, but Miranda found a couple of things she can gift. She found like baseball cards for Johnny since she likes baseball. She found an old picture of her mom when she was a kid with Nesbit and her other family members. And they actually had like a good feast. They had that canned chicken and those peas. I mean, this was considered a feast. I would never eat some canned chicken. The hardest time was when the family got really sick. Earlier in the book, Peter, the doctor, came over and said there's a West Nile virus going around that's really dangerous with mosquitoes at the time of summer. Right now it's winter and everyone's getting suddenly sick. But when Miranda goes to the hospital, keep in mind all the doctors are outstaffed and stuff, she finds out that Peter was actually killed by this virus, and the doctors say it was actually just a flu that was going around. So everybody Miranda was sick, and obviously she has like some survivor's guilt. And around this time we come to the end of the book. She's walking towards the town hall to see if there's any letters, and she's like close to death. Like she hasn't eaten in a long time. They basically ran out of food. They have nothing left to eat. No McChickens, no pizza rolls, no nothing. And when she gets there, it's locked. She can't go in, but she sees this yellow paper, magical golden ticket, and she actually goes to Willy Wonka. The yellow paper says town hall is open. So she says, oh, why not go to the town hall? I'm gonna die anyway. So she goes to the town hall, and turns out there's this secret program for food that the town hall was running, and it's like a really wholesome moment. This is like the end of the book, and they're finally getting some food. Everyone's slowly getting better. Leaves off on that happy ending. I don't even need to read the sequels. We got enough closure right there already. So with that being said, should you buy the book? I'd say yes. And you may ask, but didn't you literally tell me everything that happened in the book? Yeah, literally no, because there's a lot of important details I left out. But personally, I rate it 8 out of 10. That's it.